Now, I don't know if, like me, you get really fed up about what you see on mainstream media, where it takes them a while to get to the climax of the article, namely certain grooming gangs in the UK, and you're sat there as a viewer thinking, well, I know who the people are involved, but why aren't you saying it?
I'm asking you, do we have those sort of gangs in London?
I'm not sure why she's so nervous to say what she means. What do you mean?
No. I am saying exactly what I mean. I'm saying, have we got any of those grooming gangs in London?
Better than Captain Cuntface, too.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, if I said to you, Death Wish, Vigilante with Robert Forster,
and you must wage a war to eliminate the problem. Yourself. Vigilante.
and Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
I'm going home! Clear a path, you motherfucker! Clear a path! I'm going home!
A bunch of white men fed up of society, taking the law into their own hands. And I, for one, believe in the phrase, an eye for an eye. Now, I've got to say, when I discuss my thoughts and feelings about Uwe Boll's Citizen Vigilante with a real great comeback performance from Armie Hammer, I'm not here to say that you take the film at face value and go and do what the character of Sanders does in the movie as played by Hammer, because this is just a representational work done in artistic licensed form, and it's for you to enjoy or to maybe turn off in disgust.
Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls...
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Now, of course, what really appealed to me about this film was what the newscaster says here.
If the risks associated with migration outweigh the benefits, and if migrants are contributing more to societal costs than economic gains, then it may be time to reevaluate our migration policies.
And I thought, you know what? I'm in. Let's see how the rest of this film pans out. And the way it starts, you have a young mum and her son. They're doing shopping. She's walking home through a dodgy estate. And, of course, who's walking up from front of her? An invader. Sorry, I meant a migrant. Or do I actually mean invader? He attacks her. She's left dying in front of her son, but people are afraid to do anything about it. That is until Sanders is the man that enters the scene. Now, Sanders is a man who deals with real estate. He's obviously got a background in intelligence, although we don't really know too much about that. This has a bit of V for Vendetta written all over it, but instead of having a skin-headed Natalie Portman running around and doing her thing, we've got the more handsome Armie Hammer, who should have really got a Man from U.N.C.L.E. 2 with Henry Cavill, but that's neither here or there, doing his business. And I gotta say, I think his voice at first, when you do hear Armie's voice, he does actually have quite a natural, deep intonation, but I thought they might have overcranked the audio on the soundtrack of this film, because he sounds like he's almost doing a
Christian Bale impression from The Dark Knight.
My father and I were estranged, I guess you could say. I didn't really have much of a relationship with him growing up.
So the way he goes about his business is actually very twofold in some respects, because victims who have been attacked by invaders receive hospital visits from him, and he discusses various things, what he can do for them. He doesn't charge them any upfront fee. Meanwhile, on Sanders' trail is Interpol regional agent Henry, as played by the always reliable Costas Mandylor. But then again, I wouldn't say his character is completely competent, because a couple of times and more than once, what Armie Hammer's Sanders does is to hide in plain sight.
I want to marry him. I mean, he's a real knight and he helps the helpless.
Now, despite the fact that Citizen Vigilante is a dark movie with definitely dark, realistic, real-life themes, it does introduce some humor that you would not expect from left field. We're talking about Uwe Boll here, the German filmmaker who likes to use guerrilla tactics to get what he wants. And they actually shot this film in Croatia as well, which is amazing, because Croatia seems to be the type of country you can go to and blow shit up and do whatever you want within the confines of permissions from their government up there. But there is one scene where Mr. Sanders visits a very high-class den of hookers, is the best way to phrase it. And he looks up the young women up and down, and then he finds who he likes, takes her into a room, business ensues, and something very funny happens. Not physically, with what he says. And you're like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. And he gives her a bonus, and then on his merry way he goes. Now, why I thought this scene was a little bit out of place, but I kind of get it. He needs to release his human animalistic tendencies, not just through violence, but through sex. And then there's a scene in a bar where you have these two businessmen who are trying to date grape two young women they've also met, but the tables are turned on them by Sanders. I won't say how, but it's really, really cool and much deserved. Now, the third act of the film, I can't really describe it to you because it would actually majorly spoil the whole movie for you, but holy shit, bro. Damn, they really do go to some dark places in this scene.
I don't think it was the good ones that got out of your country. I think it was the bad ones. And I think you brought with you your archaic value system.
Now, the thing I'm pointing to directly is the assault of a 14-year-old woman in the movie.
So you found no justice in court, right?
I don't have to answer your questions, man. This is bullshit. Go away.
No. There was no justice.
These invaders will tell you that once they've set up camp in your country, they have to force their archaic laws onto you, especially you women of the West who like to underdress for a Friday night out, whether that's a miniskirt, crop tops, or as the Muslim woman in question says, showing off your breasts, because that's not entirely true. In fact, I sat on the top of a double-decker bus yesterday, and a rather lovely Mediterranean woman, shall we say, didn't have any problems showing her cleavage where I was sat, and she looked absolutely fantastic. Are they going to go after her because she's slightly underdressed? Do you see where I'm going here? And I often question myself as to whether I do live in the great white country of England. Yes, I'm born and raised in England. I have been for all of my life. But from a nationalistic point of view, I'm not a white British man. I don't see myself as British in the true sense of the word. And you know what? That's absolutely fine. I wouldn't expect my fellow British white friends to say otherwise. They can agree or disagree with that, but that's how I often see it, actually, and I'm fine with that. Uwe Boll is your William Defense of film directors. He's a guerrilla. He's a militaristic technician, and he handles the action in this thought-provoking thriller extremely well. When it comes to the assault on the women, that is handled with surprising sensitivity and very well played out by the female performers he chose to appear in their very traumatic scenes. Kind of downplayed in some respects, but I think that was the right tone to go with. So if you don't walk away from this film at least not being affected by what's happening in the real world parallel, then maybe he didn't do his job. But for me, it left me with a little bit of a stone cold feeling that, bro, I actually agree with the sentiment of this film. And by all accounts, Uwe Boll did his job and did it extremely well. So Citizen Vigilante with a really great comeback for Armie Hammer. I do believe he's actually in the sequel to The Social Network as the twin brothers. I believe he is. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That sounds like a song from the Satellites with John Lydon. But on that one, folks, if I were you and if you were me, you can catch Citizen Vigilante on Apple or through the way that I watched it by downloading it in high definition for free, but I will be getting a paid copy very, very soon. I'll catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
Who are you? Another one of those reporters?
Do I look like a reporter to you?
Whatever you do, numbnuts, don't search for this term on Google. Got that? Thanks for watching Kung Fu Hot Dog. Don't forget to like and subscribe.